And welcome to the Ask More Questions podcast. Today I'm talking with Stephen Vinson. We're doing something a little bit different because we're talking about a topic that I like to talk about, which is just personal fitness, health, that kind of stuff, which really kind of boils down to uh, us just doing something different, right? You ask a question about like, am I really happy where things are going or where things are, and can I do something different? Let's experiment a little bit and find out. And Stephen here, he keeps showing up. And literally because that's his social media handle is keep showing up, Stephen. So, Stephen, welcome. Thanks for being with me today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I've been following your journey for a while now, maybe at least a year, maybe a little bit more. And you are someone that truly keeps showing up. And when so I love your name. You just like you keep doing it. And you and I have talked back and forth about like me, like in December. I decided to, get back into the swing of things with just trying to exercise daily because I have an Apple Watch. More specifically, I have an Apple Watch Ultra. It was like the first gen that came out, and if you're an Apple Watch user, then it's all about filling the rings because, and I'm going to go ahead and give a little disclaimer. So there's a blue ring, a green ring, and a red ring on every Apple Watch. And the blue ring is like, did you stand for 1 minute per hour? And then you can set how many hours per day, but by default, it's 12. The second ring is exercise activity. And so that's like you did movement and how many minutes, and you can set that for whatever. Mine is set at 30 minutes. And then the outer ring on the watch is red, and it means like minutes of like activity. I'm sorry, calories burned through activity. And that is varied. Like everybody's a little bit different whenever it comes to like what the default is. I think my default kind of low, honestly. It's like 350, 400. I don't know. But you have an Apple Watch, right?
Yes, I have the Ultra 2. A buddy he'd gotten the newest one, and he actually gave it to me. I'm real appreciative to him. Yeah, I was offered to buy it, and he was like, "Here, man, just have it." I was like, "Well, thank you."
Yeah, you got any more friends like that? You can send them my way.
Yeah,
that's great. So you got the Ultra 2, nice. So just a quick nerd out about tech. I am surprised that my battery hasn't died yet, nor have I seen, from what I can tell, a whole lot of battery degradation, which is, it's expected in lithium-ion batteries to have some sort of degree of degradation over time, but it still kind of keeps working for me. I don't know. How's yours treating you?
Yeah, it does the same. I even wear it all night. I'll typically, like right now, mine's on the charger. Like usually in the evening, once all my rings are filled, I put it on the charger, and then before bed, I'll throw it on. And
yeah, rings are filled. Fuck it, I'm taking this thing off.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get that streak going, it's like I cannot end this.
I know, right? So it goes back to this thing that I think Jerry Seinfeld might have at least entered into the zeitgeist. He talked about keeping the don't break the streak, or I think that's what he called it, where, like if you were Xing something off on a calendar, like, okay, I'm not going to, I don't know, smoke. I'm not going to smoke for 30 days. Right. And so the trick is that you just keep going each day. And if you're in, if you try to stop drinking, for instance, they would just tell you like, well, there's a subreddit about, I think it's called Stop Drinking. And, all of the people on there, they talk about, I will not drink with you today. It's like, okay, we're just focused on today, right? So you're just focusing on keeping the streak alive. And you're right. It gets a little addictive. Would you say? I mean,
it does. Yeah. And it starts applying pressure. I mean, it's, if I didn't have the streak going, if I forget my watch, like, and I'm going to go walk, well, at least now they have the fitness app on the phone.
Yeah.
So I had to do this one day. I forgot my watch, but you can still record your workout on the phone and it keeps your rings going.
Yeah, I do appreciate that because there might be a time where you forget it or like maybe you've forgot to charge it because that is the one drawback of the Apple Watch compared to some of the other ones is that because it has so many sensors on it, it is kind of energy hungry. And so for me, maybe yours came with this too, but mine came with a super fast Apple Watch charging cable. And so I hook that up to a higher wattage charger. And then I just charge mine in the morning because I too wear it at nighttime. So that way I can get I like the data, right? I like the sleep data. I like the movement data. And then by recharging it while I'm getting ready in the morning when I really haven't started my day and stuff like that. That's what works for me. Sounds like what works for you is after you fill the rings, then, I mean, honestly, that makes a lot more sense too, because you could do it. If you actually get your ass in gear, you can get your rings filled, and then you can turn around and charge it before you put it on at night, and then keep getting that data. So it's really good. Have you ever heard of the is it Oura ring?
Oh, I've heard of it. That's like the actual ring you put on your finger.
Yeah. So I noticed a coworker the other day, she has one, and I
Oh,
was like, I would love to see your dashboard because I want to see all the data and stuff like that.
now
So
your toys on the radar. Huh.
yeah. So, if you're looking for a tool, I really recommend literally anything that gets you motivated. Not everybody needs an Apple Watch. And if you're not in the Apple ecosystem, it may not even make sense. It might make sense to use something else like a Withings or an Ura or whatever. But I think the data is helpful, but we can get into that for a little while. So tell me a little bit about your journey. What I think I know this, but what state are you in?
I'm in Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. So tell me about your journey where you decided that because I would say that one of the things that I've noticed most about you is your tenacity to uh, do one of my favorite activities regularly, which is walk. I think walking is probably one of the best things that people can do. It's free, it's relatively easy if you don't have a lot of other encumbrance. Um, what motivated you to get started on this whole journey?
It's actually been a very long journey. I'm how old am I now? 46. I started back in 2010.
Okay.
My highest weight, I was up to 632 pounds.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Um, and it took me 2 or 3 years, and I'd gotten down to 312 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and life was great, and I was walking, and then I upgraded to jogging. It just naturally came, and it felt better.
Yeah.
I was jogging up to 8 continuous miles. I was training to do a half marathon.
Oh wow, you're crazy.
Yeah. And I was doing, I've walked half marathons before,
Uh-huh.
but then I was like, now I'm going to run one. And then I started doing CrossFit, and that was a mistake on my part. I mean,
Was that?
you really need to be in tip top shape.
Yeah.
And because you start competing with other people and lifting weights, and your form just goes in the toilet.
Hmm.
And that's when you can hurt yourself. And that's what I did. I'd blown a disc in my lower back.
Oh, were you by chance doing deadlifts?
Yes.
Ah,
And
see.
because my legs were strong from, carrying all that weight around, I could deadlift a lot. And
Yeah, I bet.
I would do more than that was really safe,
Yeah.
reflecting on it now. I mean, I can remember after workouts, I would get done and I would go buy a bag of ice and lay on a public bench and put a bag of ice on my back. And, I just
Uh-huh.
thought, hey man, this is just how you do it. You're getting in shape. And then like, a month later, like, it popped in my back, like, oh, this hurts. And my foot went numb. It was, it
Oh,
sucked. Yeah. Yeah. Cause it pinched a nerve
yeah.
and I was started losing some of my left calf muscle.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you can end up with drop foot and you can't lift your foot up. So
Oh, is that drop foot? What is that where it just kind of goes numb a little bit? Like, and I mean that in
yeah,
the
like,
yeah.
like you can't move it cause it's numb.
Hmm.
You just kind of drag it around.
Oh, yeah.
It never got that bad, but I mean, there's that potential. And But I had surgery, and
You had back surgery?
yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
that was not a great idea. I got an infection after that.
Yeah.
I got sepsis, and I was in the hospital for, I don't know, a week or so, and
Uh-huh.
never been so sick in my life.
Oh, so sorry. That
I mean,
sucks.
I can remember being at work that day, and I told my boss, like, I'm going to clock out and I'm going to lay down somewhere because I can't drive. Like,
Uh-huh.
I've never felt that bad, like, where I'm like, I can't drive.
Yeah. I have once with my back. I sneezed. I think I either sneezed or coughed. I can't remember. I was at work. I went to the bathroom, sneezed or coughed, threw my back out. Decided I'd walk out to the parking lot and just kind of like walk around a couple of times. Then I was like, this is not good. So I managed to barely get into the car, barely get myself home. When I don't think we had kids at this point, so I was just really suffering, and then I was like, "Hey, babe, I think we need to go to the hospital." 'Cause, and then my wife at the time, she drove this. Do you remember the Pontiac Sunfires?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they sit a little low, right? And here I am trying to get into her car, and and there's just like as you first sit down into that car, because you're kind of squatting at the same time. There's just so much pressure going on in your lower back that normally wouldn't be a big deal, but because I had blown out something, I was just like, And it's funny though, because I did ask at the ER. I was like, "Is this because I'm fat?" And they're like, "No." I mean, the doctor that helped me, she was like super skinny, and she's like, "I do gymnastics and all sorts of stuff," and she's like, "I have the same thing happen to me." She's like, it just happens." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's nice to have stupid bodies then. But a cortisol shot and then a little bit of PT after that, physical therapy. I was better. So, but having back surgery though, like that's yeah, I've heard some stories of people that got it and then it didn't recover well. But it sounds like you're still up walking around. I mean, do you have any complications from that, or are you on the mend?
I'm on the mend now. I mean, it took a long time. For a
Mm-hmm.
while, I couldn't walk that much, and like my leg would hurt really bad.
Yeah.
It's funny how it's not your back that hurts; it's the leg. It's because it's
Yeah.
a nerve.
Right. That sciatica nerve that runs all the way down, and I
Yep.
think that's what it is. Um, well, let's go back in time a little bit to 2010. You're 600 pounds,
Mhm.
and I'm not here to knock anybody's weight or anything, because everybody gets in different. And I could say this because both of my parents were uh, pretty overweight, and and over time, I've begun to realize that there's a lot of factors that contribute. Like society likes to point the the finger at the individual, which is a part of it, but then there's a lot of other factors that go into it, from anything from stress to the convenience of, sometimes the cheapest, easiest to access food is not the best for you. What was the thing that you're like, all right, I'm going to do something different? Was it? It wasn't the back, right? Because that happened after you were lifting. So, like, what started it where you said, I'm going to do something different?
Yeah, actually, a buddy had sat me down, and I don't know, this talk that he gave me just it did something to me. I mean, I've had those talks before with people. Hell, I've had strangers do that to me. Like, buddy, you're so fat. Like strangers, like I'm like, I don't want to talk to you about this. I don't know you.
Yeah, well, that seems weird, but yeah.
But
So,
anyway, a friend had sat down, and I don't know, he just got me pumped up. And then actually, what I'd done is I thought, well, I'll start. At that time, blogging was a thing. Now that's
mhm.
gone now. So I'd started a blog, and it was called "Who Ate My Blog." It got some popularity, um, and I was in Health Magazine and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started that, and that just seemed to motivate me. And I had periods of I would lose weight and then I would gain some, lose some,
Uh-huh.
gain some. And
Yeah.
this year I've really worked on trying to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of learning from my past.
Yeah. I have found that consistency is really well. It's this concept of discipline, right?
Right.
Like I saw this. It was Mike Tyson a few years ago. There was this video making the rounds, and he talked about like discipline is showing up and doing the thing that you don't want to do anyway. You just you don't want to do it. I mean, we've all been there, right? Like I've
Oh,
had,
sure.
I've in fact, like this week, I'm not lifting. I'm only walking, because I'm just like I think I'm listening to my body, and I think that right now my body is telling me like, hey, you've been doing this for like 4 months, maybe 4 or 5 months. Maybe you should just take a week off from lifting and then go back to it. So, but I'm still staying disciplined enough to at least do something. And the discipline part of it, where I don't know if you're a morning walker or what's your preferred schedule.
I prefer to get it over with in the morning.
Yeah, it's a good plan. That way, it's just done, right? It's not
Yeah.
hanging around. But like, I'm sure you've done this. I'm sure you've had a day where you didn't get it in the morning because whatever, there was some sort of something going on, and you're like, I'll nail it later. And then later comes, and you're like, oh shit, I still got to do that thing, right? I got to go for my walk. I got to go lift. I got to go do whatever. Uh, and then you're like, well, you make a choice. That's where, to me, that's where the big like self and reflection happens.
Right.
It is like, are you going to stay disciplined enough to just go ahead and do it, and just shoot for tomorrow, being like, okay, I'm going to get this out of the way in the morning tomorrow, but today I have to deal with this tonight? Or are you going to say, no, it's okay, I can not do it? I don't necessarily feel that there's a wrong answer there, because sometimes you do just need a break, and you don't want to become such a slave to your discipline that you don't give yourself a break when you need it, right?
Right.
But sometimes we use that as a crutch. I know I certainly do.
Yeah, and it's a slippery slope that can be
Yeah.
multiple days and then in the weeks and then the months.
Right. Yeah. Because I kind of feel like I, I've heard some meme, or read some memes about, if you allow yourself to go like more than 2 days, if you make excuses for yourself 2 days in a row, then maybe it's time to like check yourself a little bit.
Yep.
And I think that makes sense. So okay, so you had a friend, and were you offended by this, by your friend?
No,
No.
I think he was doing personal training and stuff. I mean, he wasn't trying to sell me training or anything, and he was just having a discussion about it.
Uh-huh.
And then I think just doing the blog, I think just kind of helped motivate, because you get that encouragement from people. And I never was ashamed to share like my weight or anything.
Yeah.
You know how some
Yeah.
people are afraid to post a number, which is,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. Everybody's comfortable with whatever they're comfortable with. But,
Yeah.
um,
Well, that I'm glad that you had such a good relationship with someone, that you two could sit down and have a conversation about it, without it turning into, what I'm talking about,
right.
turning into
Oh, sure.
like, oh, you're judging me or whatever. And I wish I could say that I've never been judgy, but that would be inaccurate. Um,
I have a funny story.
okay.
I worked at a retail place once, and I was in the cash office with the little manager in charge of the cash registers. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I want to pray for you for your weight loss. And like, this was before the blog. This was way before that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just out of the blue. She's like, I want to pray for you. And I'm like, okay, let's just do it. And she held my hand and she started praying, and, I'll close my eye. Oh, okay. And that woman started speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard that. I didn't know what it was. My eyes open, and it's like, this room is locked. this little room with this woman, and I don't know what she's doing.
you're, you're like,
Funniest thing.
ma'am, do I need to call someone?
Yeah.
Well, did it work?
No. It worked on scaring me and then caused me
Yeah.
to laugh. So.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think it's such a weird thing because I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I think America is a little unhealthy. And it also kind of depends on where you're at. So, like you said, you're from Alabama, obviously in the South. I grew up in Southeast Kansas, which might as well have been part of the South. Um, because Southeast Kansas, just the southern part of Kansas and Missouri, it's weird. It's not like um it's almost like if you drive half, I live in the northern part of Missouri now, and it's like completely different. And I only mention that because there is how do I put this? I don't want to say mentality, but there's a culture. Yeah, there's a culture about like celebrating like good food, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of driving everywhere. And that's probably more of a greater America problem. But we are addicted to our cars, and it's really easy to just hop in the car and go 3 blocks.
Oh,
Super
yeah.
easy. But you have to like almost go out of your way to be like, well, it's 3 blocks to the store, and I'm getting a package of pens and some bananas. Do I really need to drive? Do I, could I just throw this in a plastic sack and walk home with it, right? And then get a little bit more movement. Or even if you do drive, at least park in the back of the parking lot, get a few more steps or something. So,
Right.
so I sympathize with the culture that goes around with a little bit of that region, and it makes me a little jealous of other states in the United States that um, either they have like more public transit or they have more even just sidewalks, really. Sidewalks or those parks where they put in the exercise equipment that you walk a little bit and then you can stop and you can do a little something, little push-ups or whatever. And I would love if we had more of that. So
Yeah, same here. There's a lot of areas here in Birmingham that we just don't have sidewalks. It's just an older city, and
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
wants to.
Do you have really wide streets though?
Uh, no. I mean, you would have
No.
to give up some of your property.
Yeah.
Each homeowner would.
Man, the streets in my hometown were so big. I mean, you could easily park like it's. I mean, probably 3 or 4 cars could easily go side by side
Oh, wow.
on a street. I'm like, why are these streets so big? Like, what were you hauling back then? I mean, it's an old cattle rustling town. So I don't know, but anyway, so you have this friend, you have the talk, and then you get going. What was back then, thinking back to whenever you were twice the man that you are now, what was your early days? You said, was it walking mainly?
Yes, mainly walking. Um, Started doing that for a while, and when I was that big at 632, the first 100 pounds went pretty fast, just because you're so heavy that it just drops quickly.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, I would just walk every day, and nothing crazy.
Uh-huh.
And but the over exercising really came in when I was, got down to that 300. You start feeling better.
Yeah, I feel a little bit more cocky, a little bit more confident. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't think I've ever been this small. Like, I've always,
Yeah.
I've always been the biggest person, like in school and everything, and
Yeah.
that's just how I was raised. I mean,
Yeah.
um, so I mean, I loved it, like the jogging and
So you like jogging?
oh yeah,
Why?
I just couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah. Um, I kind of like it, but I also kind of don't. Just because, I mean, I was born genetically with shitty knees. And so, I mean, it's pretty bad whenever I tore my meniscus during the pandemic and had to go to an actual, orthopedic surgeon. And he looked at my x-rays and the MRI, and he was like, as a side note, you're definitely going to be a candidate for early knee replacement. I said, oh,
Nice.
great. Cool, thanks. So and I, even during, I had to do PT after that too, and we talked about, well, will I be able to do things like if I wanted to do, I had it in my head, I'm like, I just want to do one more 5K because I had done some in the past, because like you, I had also kind of went up and down in weight. You kind of do that little yo-yo thing. And I thought, well, I'd like to do it one more time. And the PT person, she was just like, yeah, I don't know why the doctors tell people that they can't run, even if you've got issues, because you still can. Um, and she would say that, she said, around here we say motion is lotion, which I kind of giggled a little bit about that. But
Yeah.
but what she meant was, you need to move, because it does help the joints, gets, the blood flowing and get everything, moving. And it's true, man. Like if you sit, it's just like dying slowly, so just keep moving, right?
Right.
Yeah. So fast forward a little bit, you've lost weight. You're down, and you did CrossFit, and then you blew out your back. I got to tell you, man, I I must have bad form, and this is the only thing that I can possibly conceive is the issue, that I must have some terrible form, and I probably need like a trainer or somebody to work with me on deadlifts. And that's why I asked if it was a deadlift that did it, because I have the same problem. Like I'll do deadlifts, and I'm like, the weight is not the problem. I can nail the weight. Um, but then something, usually after if I do deadlifts, yeah, there's something on my lower right hand side of my back where I'm just like, ow, like it's not good. And
Yeah.
so have you outside of CrossFit, have you spent any time with like a personal trainer or anything like that? I've never done that, so I don't really know what that experience is like.
No, I haven't really done lifting since the back issue.
Uh-huh.
I do swimming and then walking. Um,
Okay.
and swimming, I got swim lessons when I was like 5 or 6, and I've
Yeah.
always just been a good swimmer. So,
Yeah. Uh,
um,
so do you still swim today?
yes, when I was walking, when I started up again, my feet would hurt and like some real pains. So I
Uh-huh.
wanted to keep that streak going. I was like, well, I can swim. And so I went back to the gym. I was like, sign me back up. Like, I got to keep
Yeah.
the streak going.
Yeah. And what I like about the watch is that it'll track the water stuff too,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is neat. Of course, I do stupid stuff like go underwater and open my eyes in a chlorinated pool, and then try to read my watch, like what's the depth. So
Got to have the goals.
right, I got to give it a shot. Um, so yeah, what about, how do you keep your motivation going outside of I got to fill the watch? Like, yeah, what motivates you in life to like keep doing this? Is, I guess, what the real question that I'm trying to ask here.
Um, yeah, I mean, I want to do it for myself. A lot of it is because I regained a lot of weight. I didn't get back up to 600, but I'm at about 460 something right now.
Uh,
And I just want to get back to at least that feeling of, when I was at the low threes. I mean, I think my end goal is going to be the mid twos or so, because there's going to be a lot of loose skin. I don't know. That's a variable that I don't know about.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get it removed. I mean, that the surgery is expensive, and
Right.
I don't exactly have a great history with surgery. So,
Yeah. Um, so I did this. So for me, talking about motivators, right? My dad had Alzheimer's, and like I said, both my parents were overweight. And then during the pandemic, since it was a pandemic, the uh, the for me, drinking kind of got a little bit out of hand. Kind of got away from me,
same here.
because I was kind of looking back at it now, I was clearly self-medicating a very terrible, stressful time.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so I should try to give myself a little grace, but I feel bad about that because I'm like, why did I do that? Like it just really got away from me. But I don't know. I read a book called This Naked Mind. I thought it was really good, and she makes a great point in that book because she's a recovering alcoholic, right? And I never considered myself an alcoholic, just an alcohol abuser, which is so easy to do, man.
Oh
Because
yeah.
once you like, once you work on stopping, you notice that it's everywhere. And where before I didn't really notice, like pay attention to how it's there. And as you know, like this plays into it's very hard to lose weight whenever you're still drinking. There's so many calories that just aren't that useful,
Yep.
outside of maybe fueling an engine. Uh,
And of course, my drink was a craft beer, IPA, which is
oh
the
yeah.
has
Oh,
the
you're an
most calories.
IPA guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I like
oh, see, I knew I'd find something that I didn't like about you.
the pine tree. And then my problem too, when I drink and I, get intoxicated, then I can't control my eating.
oh
That
yeah.
that's when the monster comes out. Like fine, like if I'm sober, like I don't care about food right
Uh-huh.
now. But
Yeah.
if I have had something to drink, then it's just like, oh, I just want to eat everything.
Yeah, they do go well together.
Yeah,
You get a little tipsy, and then you're like, yeah, you know what? 8 pretzels does sound like a good idea. I think
yeah,
I'll just, or for me, it might have been half a box of donuts, but we won't talk about that.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, for me, like after I got kind of started getting out of the pandemic, and then like watching, it was still mid pandemic that like dad started going downhill, and then I started really re-examining things. Like I said, I read the book, and she said in the book, she's like, don't feel bad about getting addicted to a substance that is addictive. And I was like, I like that. I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm just going to do something to try to fix it. But yeah, I went from, I think it was around 250, 255, and then I went hard for like a year and a half, got down to, oh shit, I think 185 maybe, um, was the lowest I got. And these days I'm hovering around like 215.
Okay.
So again, kind of a yo-yo, but at the same time, not a full rebound. I don't know if you've heard of this concept that shit, it just slipped my mind. What is that? Where, oh, the set point, that your body, uh, it's a hypothesis. I don't know that it's been proven or not, but that this idea that your body, at different phases, if you're like, let's say this, if you're used to carrying around 250 pounds, right, for long periods of time, that your body will kind of like naturally kind of hover around that. Like maybe you go down a little bit, or maybe you go up a little bit, like after like Thanksgiving, for instance. But overall, you're going to kind of hover around that 250, and then you can kind of reset that with extended periods of dropping some weight, right? And that's why I think right now my set point is probably around 215, because I mean, I have days where I don't know why Monday seems to be an amazing day for me, but like Monday I could eat next to nothing. And
Hmm.
then Tuesday comes around and I'm like, all right, I'm way over. Um, so, like altering that set point is kind of a kind of a challenge because I don't know what it like how long you need to be there. Like clearly me getting down, pretty low to the point that people are like, I think you lost too much. Uh, like, oh, well, I didn't know that could happen.
It's funny how it
Uh,
works.
yeah, I know, right? It's like, oh, and it goes back to the skin thing too, because I had some just around my gut area. I was like, yeah, I look like a slightly inflated raisin. It's like all wrinkly and shit. And I'm like, what do you do about that? And like the answer is you accept it. That is
Yep.
the answer. Because like you, I'm yeah. There's not going to be any surgery, and I'm not there now. I'm a little bit more filled out. Um, so, but speaking of food, do you what part does like food? I mean, you said that like you kind of handle things normally. Do you track anything? Are you a tracker?
I do. Yeah. I just like to see where I'm at because I tend to, it's so easy to, you start adding a tablespoon and extra serving here and there. It just gets away from you. So it's become secondhand. I mean, I'm not like super obsessive about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I just, and sometimes I'll even just guess, that was a cup of XYZ. But,
Uh,
that way I just kind of know like my goal every day is up to 2,500 calories because of my
mm-hmm.
weight. And, I'm very active. So I want to make sure I'm eating enough that
Yeah,
I'm not
it's a
hurting.
fine it's a
Yeah.
fine balance too, right? Because I don't know, people may not know this, but like the bigger you are, you're actually burning more um, just through your day to day life, right?
Right.
Uh, Compared to like a small person, much smaller person is probably burning a lot less, just because your caloric needs are different. And it seems surreal to think that,
Right.
it was,
And it's hard for people to understand that have never been through it.
yeah.
Like the calorie calculators that you see online or that you use with those apps,
Mm-hmm.
to maintain my current weight. I mean, it would be like I could eat 4,000 calories a day.
Wow.
So that's just,
Because
yeah,
yeah, because of your mass, and then like um your activity level. Since what'd you walk today? You posted something because you got the 666 goal for May or whatever. What? Tell me about that.
yeah, that was Apple chose that as you get like a monthly goal,
Huh?
give you an award
Yeah.
for the month. And mine was to burn at least 666 calories a day for 14 days.
Yeah.
So it just chose that number. I was like, okay.
Let me pull mine up real quick. My goal is to not die. Okay, great. So that was that's the goal I'm shooting for.
But I think
But
it's custom tailored to every person and like whatever you've been doing, it kind of calculates something, not even just calories, but just, for you, it may be you need to do X amount of these type of workouts or,
yeah, yeah. Um,
but I do
with
love the awards. I don't know. It's just something that's like, hey, I earned it.
I'm there with you. Like, sometimes they'll do the well, let's see, what would be the next one? There might be a Memorial Day award, like, oh, did you get out and do something during Memorial Day, which is coming up here in a couple of weeks? Or usually like every holiday they try to have
Yeah.
something, or like
One for Earth Day. I see.
one for Earth Day. There's I don't know if there's one for Juneteenth yet, but there might be. I mean, it seems like they take every opportunity to try to give you an award to go chase after.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you and I both benefit from the gamification of
Right.
that. Um, because it does give you a little something, even though you're like, this is a digital award that doesn't mean anything, and I can't even hold it really.
Right.
But it's still it's a validation, right? It's like, okay, you did the work, and I see you now. My wife back then, she's kind of let off on me now, but she was like, I think you're ruled by your watch, and I'm like,
It's
I'm
easy to get into that.
yeah, I mean, I argued that I was not ruled by my watch. But listen,
You
it's
just like
just you and
enjoy
me.
the day
It's
now.
just you and me here, right? So we can just talk about this, and no one else will ever hear this. Um, maybe a little, maybe a little, because it does tap you, right? The thing is like, hey, you know, time to stand up. Which that's a good one to have. I mean, because I do think that sitting is pretty bad, and it's so easy to just sit and do all sorts of nothing. Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I have a desk job, so uh, I work, and I'm sitting looking at a glowing rectangle. Like, then nothing about that sounds healthy. Like, that whole entire sentence just sounds
Yeah.
awful. I don't know what kind of work you do, and you don't have to get into specifics, of course, but um, are you your day to day, well, just your day to day, like, are you more like naturally sitting, or are you moving around quite a bit through whatever it is you do during the day?
Yeah. A lot of it is sitting. I do a little bit of work from home. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's part time, which is nice. I can basically make my own schedule. But I also take care of my mother. She's bedbound. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like my full time thing is taking care of
Yeah,
her and facilitating appointments and everything. Uh,
that that's a challenge.
oh yeah.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit. So, how long has she been not well?
She's been not well for about 3 years and she's
Uh-huh.
been bedbound, um, about 14 months now.
Uh,
And she's bedbound just because her knees are gone. Just she has arthritis really bad.
yeah.
She's
Mm.
overweight, um, and has just really bad arthritis. And now she has congestive heart failure and a few things. And
Mm-mm.
so she just can't get out of the bed. So
Yeah. How are you doing with that?
I, I have caregivers that come in and fortunately do the bathing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
gotten better. Um, but it is challenging,
Yeah.
in this role, you deal with a lot of things that can be very difficult to deal with. It's your parent and,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
and it's my mother. It's like the opposite sex. It's like, so
Yeah.
it's a lot. And then also just watching her go downhill. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's taking a while and, you know, every day something new seems to pop up. Get
Mm-hmm.
something and her hearing is gone now. And that's, so every conversation you have to repeat yourself
Yeah.
many times
Yeah.
over. And she doesn't have Alzheimer's or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But she's starting to forget even how to like use the remote control.
Oh, yeah. So, like, maybe just typical senility.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, geographically, I'm further away from my sister. So my sister did a lot of what you're doing, right? Which is to be there a lot and try to juggle that with your own life and the things going on.
Right.
And so I can't personally speak to that other than I've seen it, and I know how difficult it is. And then especially if you have to get any kind of like fucking paperwork done, like with the government. I mean, she had to go through well, she did stuff with my grandma too, like, just there was a lot of, it's a lot of red tape,
Oh
to get through all this crap. And you go through a lot of runaround back and forth, and then one day it comes through and
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like, oh, thank goodness, that finally I can maybe breathe a little bit. So I'm glad that you have, sounds like you got some help, some caregivers that come in and give you some of that care, ease the tension, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I know that it's got to be, you've probably had some challenges where you had to deal with something during the day, and then you still, like, you're like, well, maybe you needed to work out or something, but you're also trying to juggle that at the same time. So you're juggling your
Right.
needs and then your mom's needs, or your parents' needs at the same time. It can be really challenging.
Yeah. Especially, like if she had to be hospitalized, that can be challenging.
Uh-huh.
But, you can, especially if you're just walking, you can kind of try to do it where you can. I mean, because that's the
Yeah.
beauty of walking. You can do it anywhere.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to sound like we're throwing our parents under the bus. So, for all the listeners, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. That said, sometimes we look at our parents, and I hope my kids do this to me. I'm okay with it. I'm cool with them saying, like, Dad did this and this and this, and I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm like, cool, it's your life. You should figure out what works best for you, right? But I look at my parents, and they were like I said, it was a bit of a driver for me because my mom died way early. She died. She was 64,
Okay.
and I was just like, oh, like I remember having discussions with her in the hospital, and she's just like, I just need to make it to my Medicare birthday, which is 65,
Right.
so that way so she could retire and not have to deal with healthcare, which drives me crazy about this country.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm sure there's some of that for you as well, right? Where it's a little bit of a driver, a motivator.
Yes. Because it looks like we have good genetics as far as you know, not having heart disease or anything. I mean, of course, now until she's way older, but
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the fear that growing up, people are, you're gonna have a heart attack, you're gonna,
Yeah.
you're not gonna live past 40, and
Mm-hmm.
all that, and like,
Thanks for the
no,
help.
yeah, no, it's like we have good genetics, but these knees, man, they can't take it.
Yeah. That's that's kind of the weird thing about, so there's the fitness part, right? Can I move? Can I do things? Can I get down on the floor and then get up without a lot of problems? Could I go up and down a flight of stairs?
Right.
Those things, right? That's fitness. And then there's health. And then health is a weird one because we've all heard the stories about, like, well, grandpa smoked camels, without filters, all of his
Yeah.
life, and he didn't get cancer, emphysema, or anything, and then I've known people that literally ate perfectly all the time, annoyingly so, and then did a lot of exercise, skinny minis, that type of thing, and end up with cancer. And I'm like, wow. So that's the problem with people saying things like, "Oh, you're going to have a heart attack." It's like, you don't actually don't know that. I mean,
Right.
because, like you said, genetically, there might be something else going on that kind of um, keeps you better and keeps you protected, I should say. And I read something once that, like, Ozzy Osbourne, that, like, they wanted to find out why he was able to drink so heavy, and that he actually has a gene mutation, or had a gene mutation that allowed
Okay.
him to drink more alcohol, and kind of like put everybody on the floor. And so yes, genetically there might be things. I hope that's true and not like.
That's an expensive mutation.
Yeah, I know, no doubt. Well, I think he enjoyed it. Uh, so, um, yeah, I know that's it's good to have a motivator. It would be nice if we just had motivators like, oh, I want to just do this because I just want mental clarity. And instead, it's usually something like, well, somebody that I know, friend, family, whatever, they weren't doing so well. And I'd like to try to not be like that if
Right.
possible,
Yeah.
So, and, there's a lot of interesting approaches to that. I don't know if you ever heard of functional fitness. So, where you're doing like functional lifting, like I'm only going to do the things that I would normally do. So, deadlifting might be out because I don't often pick up couches,
Right.
or the backs of cars, and lift them off, But I do squat,
Oh
squat
yeah.
all the time, because I don't know why. My favorite drink is the Rockstar Sugar Free. It comes in a gold can, looks like beer,
Okay.
right? And at the gas station that I get it from, it's always on the bottom rack. Thanks a lot, guys. So, here I am. I have to, I go in and I'm like, oh, well, there's one, and then you reach, and then there's like 4 or 5 others, but they're like up the little sliding rack thing, and now I'm squatting and I'm reaching, and I don't want to get on my knees because, again, bad knees, right?
Hmm.
So, so squatting's helpful, and that's a functional exercise. So I don't like squats at all. I they I just find them I don't know. I just don't like them. And but I still continue to do them every single time I work out because I squat, you know. So the concept of like functional fitness is really interesting to me. Or like well, obviously walking. If you want to go anywhere where you might have to walk some distance, you don't want to be all out of breath and stuff like that. But like, shit, man, like you're probably kicking everybody's ass if you have to walk somewhere. I mean, because tell me what you did today, miles wise. What'd you do?
Yeah, today I did a mile and a half.
Mile and a half. Okay.
So I do the shorter walks during the week.
Okay.
I'm doing a longer walk on the weekend. I am training for a half marathon in December.
Yeah.
So last Sunday I did 4.5 miles. Um,
Wow.
I
That's
mean, I'm
nice.
still slow, but I don't care about speed. I just want to cover the distance.
Yeah.
And that is one of my goals is to go with my girlfriend to Disney World or, theme parks and go have a good
Yeah.
time and go to theaters and
Oh,
be
that's
able to fit
awesome.
in the seats. That's a logistical problem that I deal with,
Uh huh.
and it really sucks.
Yeah. Have you ever been to like Disney World?
um, yes, I
Okay.
went in high school when we
Okay.
both and
Wait,
it was a problem, as far as walking around. I could only do so much.
I was gonna
Thankfully,
say,
we were allowed to just be on our own, thankfully.
yeah, we
So,
went in 2019, so I got lucky. We went before the pandemic,
no,
and I had my watch then, because I've been a watch wearer for quite a while now. Because I used to have just the regular Apple Watch whenever, the non Ultra.
yeah,
And for anyone who needs to know, the Ultra it's just bigger. So it's more of a quote unquote, I'm kind of rolling my eyes while I say this, manly watch, whatever that means. But it's just bigger. So if you like a bigger watch, the Ultra is probably the one for you. If you
yeah,
don't care and like you're fine with like just the regular size, then just get the regular Apple Watch. It's fine. Um, but yeah, I weighed myself before we went because I was curious because we had saved up money and we'd done this thing where we got one of those Disney concierge where I think they just get like a kickback of like I never paid them directly, never paid this girl directly any money, but um I paid like per month, kind of like layaway for your travel, right?
right.
And then you get to the big day and I'm like, okay, and they're like, well, what kind of food package would you like? I'm like, I don't know what I need for a family of five. So we ended up getting just one that had maybe two meals and a snack. I didn't realize that the snacks were going to be, like as big as the Magic Kingdom castle itself. And so, and the food is abundant and I'm there and I'm eating and I'm on vacation, man. I'm
Oh,
just like I'm just going to eat it. I'm not going to care about any of this stuff but the whole time I'm thinking I'm easily eating like 3 or 4 thousand calories a day. There's no way I'm not. I wasn't tracking anything at that time. That was kind of before that. But like I said, I did weigh before I go, and I had my watch with me. I walked 20,000 steps every single day that we were there. I got home, I gained a whopping 1 pound.
yeah.
you know, so I think you have a good goal. Is what I'm saying that your walking will help make it so you can do those things. Go to
Especially with my girlfriend. She loves Disney and
yeah,
goes like every year, takes her daughter. And I mean, they are hardcore
yeah,
walking all day, doing rides. And, like I got to be able to keep up with that.
yeah.
Right now, I couldn't be able to.
Does she walk with you?
Yeah, we do walk on occasion.
Okay.
She lives in Tennessee, so we're long distance.
Okay.
But yeah, we will get together and walk.
Yeah. How long distance could you walk there? So, well, that's I think that's wonderful to have that support too, and that's the thing. Do you I don't know, do you have any other kind of support for as far as like are there other people that you walk with on a regular basis? Because I've been always kind of a loner whenever it comes to that stuff. I tend to be by myself, but occasionally a buddy will hit me up and we go on what I call, as an homage to one of my favorite bands, Megadeth, I call it a mega walk. And it's more like what you were saying, where it's closer to like a 5 mile walk.
Yeah. Um, I don't have anyone that I walk with or anything. I'm kind of a loner as well.
Hmm.
But I go to it's the Birmingham Crossplex here. I just walk outside of it, and you see a lot of the regulars, and people are noticing that I'm losing weight, so they'll always say something. And
Hmm.
that whole community there has just been very supportive.
Okay,
It's been great.
that's great.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's uh, so helpful, and you and I both know that whenever somebody comes up and notices, that's whenever you're like, oh, finally somebody noticed the work. you know it's that validation.
it's nice.
it's the
Yeah,
it's the it's the in real life version of getting the little award on your watch,
yeah.
right, where somebody says, you look a little thinner in the neck. Like, oh, thank you. I've been wondering if anybody would notice, because I notice, because I'm getting naked on a scale every damn morning, and weighing myself regularly. But to have someone else say it, it makes you feel good. Not that weight is everything, and that's
Right,
probably it's one of the problems, I think, with Western society is, and I've fallen victim to this. I'll admit that a focus on weight being the thing rather than health, um, and
right.
that's
And we forget how these words can affect different people,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
especially ladies can be a little more, sensitive to. I don't care,
hmm,
if somebody says something, but it's for everybody's different, and it can be a delicate subject.
yeah, yeah. I've not performed admirably all the time, so I think I've gotten better, but I was not always that way, and I feel bad about putting too much of an emphasis on weight rather than just health, because really, who cares if you're skinny if you can't sleep or think straight or whatever, right? I mean, that's not feeling healthy.
Yeah, and some cultures, being overweight means you're healthy.
Yeah, I know. Means that all your needs are taken care of. You're good to go.
I had
uh,
an African math teacher, and this girl, he was like, "Where you been?" And she's like, "I've been out sick." And then he accidentally, he was just thinking because he's from Africa, and he's like, "But you're so fat." And I knew what he meant.
you look so healthy. Yeah.
I knew he meant you look healthy, and everybody was
Yeah.
started laughing. And I was like, "Oh God, this is bad."
I saw this thing online where it's some sort of weird Chinese cultural thing where there's a subculture of guys that show their pot bellies. Like they wear like basically like 80s style, what do they call those shirts where
Crop
they're
tops.
yeah, like a crop top, and they're like showing, like, look at my belly. Like, huh, yeah, maybe I need to move to China.
That people up there.
Yeah, be worshipped, like, oh, look at you. So, well, what are your what are your goals? What are, besides, I mean, you give me a generic goal, but like, do you have a specific goal of going somewhere, maybe with your girl, like going somewhere, and do you have anything set in stone that you're shooting for, besides, well, tell me about this is it a half marathon you said?
Yeah, it's a Rocket City half marathon in Huntsville. Well, it's actually a full marathon, but they also do halves and other distances.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in December in Huntsville, Alabama, thankfully, because it gets very hot here in the summer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What, you don't want to do a half marathon sweating like a pig?
no, no, I did the Mercedes back in 2011 or 12 here in Birmingham, and it was the Mercedes half marathon, and it was in April. I can't remember what month, but it was hot and it
Oh.
sucked.
Yeah. So what are the temps like in December, like on average, like normally?
Uh, I mean, it can be 32, or I mean, it can be 50. Lately, it's been all over the place.
Yeah.
But I see the pictures here, people in the past that they're wearing, long sleeves and gloves and stuff, and I probably won't be wearing that. I'll be
Yeah.
in
Right. Yeah.
shorts.
There are some of us that may run a little hotter. Like, I
Yeah,
tend to be like cold if I'm sitting. Like I don't have Raynaud's, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was Raynaud's adjusted, where I'm talking about whenever the blood comes in from like your fingers and your toes and they change colors. Mine don't change color, but my hands get kind of icy. But man, once I start walking, oh, it's like a switch is flipped on, and I just start sweating. And I'm like, ugh, goodness gracious. So like, yeah, I like often in the summer, it's like a 2 shower day.
Absolutely.
So and you make a good point about walking. Like people can do marathons, and I hope if anybody listens to this and they think like, oh, I'd like to do a marathon but I can't run it, you don't have to run these things. Like, and nobody's going to make fun of you for showing up and doing something. And if they do, just keep in mind that the only people that make fun of you are people that aren't doing anything, because nobody that is improving their lives, not generally anyway, will look down on somebody else for also doing the same thing.
Right.
So um, I like marathons because you usually get a T-shirt out of the deal,
Yeah.
or a 5K. I like 5Ks.
They usually feed you and
Yeah,
get a shirt.
yeah,
There's usually free alcohol, but
yeah, I know,
not
which I
always.
always thought was a little weird. Like, oh, you just got done with a 5K. Here, have a beer. I'm like,
Oh, when I finished that half, oh, actually, they gave me beer on the last mile, and I spit it out. I thought it was water, and I was like, I was so miserable. I was like, this is the last thing.
this last thing I wanted. Yeah, no doubt. So, although it might take some of the pain away. But yeah, so I don't know. I think you need to set it right here and right now. What your goal is, which park you're going to. You know, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh, well, I mean, definitely. I mean, it would be Disney and Orlando, but a lot of it is scheduling and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Plus, it costs so much. It's so expensive.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's tough. So let's wrap it up a little bit. If somebody wanted to get started today, and maybe they were like you were eons ago, a different person, how would you suggest they go about it? I mean, personally, I would probably say might not be a bad idea for like maybe step zero. Go talk to your physician, make sure that everything's cool. Um, because, it wouldn't be good to get started with something and then
right.
find out you got other issues. But yeah, like you know, how would you do it? Did you work any plan? Like there's all sorts of like couch to 5Ks, and then there's like, okay, just do a block and then do that for a few days and then do 2 blocks. I don't know. What would your recommendation be?
Yeah, just starting out. Like even when I really restarted more towards the beginning of this year, um, I was pretty out of shape. I remember just going up and down the street in front of my house, and the first time it was tough.
Uh-huh.
Just, but the body builds it up so quickly, and you just got to get through the first like month, you know, or really the
Yeah,
week. I mean, that's amazing how quickly the body will adapt. And
yeah. I think I would give it 2 weeks. That would be because it depends on what you're doing. If you're walking, maybe a week. Yeah, you're probably right on that. If you're lifting, that first week, you should probably only do 2 exercises, and
oh yeah,
you should probably and you should lift light. And maybe if you start on a Monday, maybe you don't do that second one until Friday or Saturday
yeah,
because you can't. Because you get the what they call delayed onset muscle soreness,
yeah,
and then you're like, I can't sit down but I don't want to stand up either, and it's just you feel terrible. Uh but but there's a lot of mental that goes into that, because
sure,
you have to be like, well, I can't let this defeat me because I'm working toward a greater goal of being active. um and trying to see, to me the exciting part is just to see what I can do, see what I can change, you
right.
know, and see what the outcome is.
And then
And
also tracking food is good just to see where you're
yeah,
at on the calories you're taking in and everything.
yeah. Do you have a preferred tracker?
Um, MyFitnessPal was good. I currently use the Lose It app.
Yeah, familiar with that.
Yeah, but both of those are really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think both of those free, or did I think MyFitnessPal ended up? I don't know. I used them for a long time, and then they changed some stuff, and I kind of stopped using them, and now I use a different app. So I use
Okay.
one called Macro Factor.
Yeah, the Lose It one, I pay for it, but it may have a free option. I'm not sure.
Yeah, a lot of them probably do, but there's something. I mean, I think that even if you just write it down, just writing down, and even if you, as long as you're honest, like,
Right.
yeah, I ate
Not
the whole
like
pie.
eating because when I didn't care, I mean, it was easy to have a 3 fast food meal day,
Mm-hmm.
and you get so used to that. The it's high fat, high salt, high sugar food that it tastes so good that I mean, you don't care about. You could eat 2 or 3 sandwiches, and I mean, before you
Yeah,
know it, that the calories are just through
yeah.
the roof.
I know. I had Popeyes yesterday, and dude, I could totally have another one right now because I love Popeyes.
And like pizza, like I can eat a whole pizza, but there's so much sodium in it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
balloon up. It makes me retain water.
yeah. Um,
I
I
mean, I eat
don't
so much I notice it the next day. It's like, oh, this is very uncomfortable.
see, but that's another thing, right? There's this concept of intuitive eating. I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
Yeah.
And so um, I don't buy into it fully. However, there are concepts from that way of thinking that I think are beneficial, and that is probably the key thing is listening to your body and I think just being honest with yourself. Like, okay, is this a pain from exercising, or is this pain from I did something wrong? So
Right.
because there are people that continue to maybe do deadlifts whenever they shouldn't,
Hmm.
until they get whatever there needs to be worked out with their form, because we have stupid cultural things that are beat into our head, like, oh, pain is temporary, pride is forever, or
Yeah.
something stupid like that. And you're like, well, I'm suffering every day, so I must be doing the right thing, whenever you might not be. And then the same with food. It's kind of important to listen, like, okay, do I need to finish this meal? Like, you go out to a restaurant, the portions are always more than a normal serving,
Yeah.
and then I get kind of a little bit in a rut, like, well, I'm just going to finish it all so that way I don't have to take anything home, and then I feel bad about wasting food. I don't want to
Hmm.
waste food. Starving children in Ethiopia, et cetera, et cetera. All the stuff I was told growing up. Um, but maybe I could just say, could I just have a to-go box, and then I could eat it tomorrow. I don't have to make lunch.
Yeah.
So
One thing I noticed too is how does it make me feel? Like I was saying, like the pizza.
yeah,
The next day, I feel like shit. So
exactly.
I think about that. It's like I'm just not going to eat it because I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
kind of that's what I do with drinking too. It's like I'm not going to drink because I'm going to feel like shit in the morning,
yeah, yeah.
and then
I
I'll
know.
feel guilty about the stupid shit I did last night.
And then I feel even more guilty if I have too much to drink and ate two pizzas.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then it all compounds, right? And you're like, oh, I feel terrible.
yeah, yeah. Then you
Yeah,
feel so bad, and then you get off your plan, and it just
right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, and that's why you're such an inspiration to me, because it's just like, like your handle says, just keep showing up,
Yeah,
and I love that. So, I hope anyone listening to this, that if you've been thinking about making a change in this, all you got to do is start, and like, keep 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 at it, and then also,
what is it? Fall down 6 times, get up 7.
that's
That's
right. Yeah.
do.
Or 80, 90, 100, just as long as you just keep getting up, we're just trying to make it through life, and
Yep. And
see what happens.
every day's a new day.